Welcome to Clear Cut Health and Wellness 360, where we break down the science of staying healthy in a way that's real, practical, and easy to follow. No BS, no gimmicks. Today, we're talking about something that millions of people have, but most don't even realize it. It's called fatty liver disease, and it's now one of the fastest growing health problems in the world. What makes it especially dangerous? It's quiet. Most people who have it feel just fine, until the damage is already done. But here's the good news. Fatty liver is reversible, especially if you catch it early. In this video, we'll cover what fatty liver actually is, what causes it, who's at risk, how to spot it, and how to reverse it naturally, with no pills or expensive treatments. What is fatty liver? Let's begin with the organ at the center of it all, your liver. Your liver is one of the most essential and hardworking organs in the human body. Often referred to as the body's internal chemical factory and detox center, the liver performs over 500 critical functions that keep you alive and healthy. It continuously filters your blood, removes harmful substances, breaks down fats, metabolizes medications, stores vitamins and minerals, and converts nutrients from the food you eat into forms your body can use. Every time you eat, drink, breathe in pollutants, or absorb chemicals through your skin, your liver is involved in processing those substances and protecting you from their potential harm. Normally, the liver contains a small amount of fat, which isn't a problem. However, when fat starts to build up and exceeds more than 5% of the liver's total weight, it becomes a medical condition known as fatty liver, or hepatic steatosis. There are two main types of fatty liver disease. The first is alcoholic fatty liver disease, or AFLD, which results from excessive alcohol consumption that overwhelms the liver's ability to break down fat, leading to fat accumulation in liver cells. The second and far more widespread form is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD. Unlike AFLD, NAFLD develops in people who consume little to no alcohol. Instead, it's primarily driven by poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, obesity, insulin resistance, and metabolic disorders, and in some cases, genetic predisposition. Today, NAFLD has become the most common form of chronic liver disease globally. In the United States alone, it affects an estimated 30 to 40% of adults. Its rise has been closely tied to increasing rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, making it a major public health concern that often goes undiagnosed until the damage is already underway. Why it's called a silent epidemic. Fatty liver disease is often called a silent disease because it usually develops without any obvious symptoms. You might feel fine, have normal energy, and go about your daily life, while your liver quietly accumulates fat and inflammation. But as more fat builds up in the liver, it can trigger inflammation and damage. This more serious form is called non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, or NASH. Over time, NASH can lead to fibrosis, which is scarring of liver tissue. If this scarring becomes widespread, it turns into cirrhosis, a condition where the liver becomes permanently damaged and can no longer function properly. Cirrhosis is the final stage. From there, the risk of liver failure, internal bleeding, and even liver cancer increases dramatically. And here's the really scary part. You can have normal blood sugar and normal weight and still have fatty liver. It's not just a problem for people with obesity or diabetes. Even lean individuals can develop it, especially if they eat a diet high in refined carbs and sugars. Who's at risk? You might think fatty liver only happens to heavy drinkers or people with serious health problems, but the truth is, it can sneak up on almost anyone. You're more likely to be at risk if you've got a larger waistline or carry extra fat around your belly. That stubborn midsection weight isn't just annoying, it's a red flag for visceral fat, the kind that likes to cozy up around your organs, especially your liver. If you have high blood sugar, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, your body is already struggling to manage insulin, and that makes it much easier for fat to settle in your liver. The same goes for high blood pressure or abnormal cholesterol. Two common signs that your metabolic engine isn't running as smoothly as it should. Being overweight or obese increases your risk even further, especially if your extra weight comes with poor eating habits and low activity levels. But here's the twist. Even people who look slim on the outside can have fatty liver if they're not healthy on the inside. If you drink alcohol regularly, even in what you think are social amounts, your liver may be quietly paying the price. And if your family has a history of liver disease, you might have inherited a higher sensitivity to liver stress due to genetic predisposition. Let's not forget your diet. If your menu is filled with processed foods, sugary snacks, fast food, and fizzy drinks, your liver's probably under constant attack. Add in a lifestyle where exercise is optional or non-existent, and you've just handed fatty liver an open invitation. But here's the kicker. Even if none of these risk factors apply to you, fatty liver can still show up unannounced. That's why awareness, regular checkups, and a little curiosity about your health can go a long way. After all, your liver works 24/7 for you. The least you can do is check in on it once in a while. Early signs and symptoms to watch for. Most people with fatty liver disease feel totally fine at first. No pain, no obvious red flags. But as time goes on, your body may start dropping subtle hints. One of the earliest and easiest to ignore signs is constant fatigue. This isn't the usual tiredness after a long day. It's the kind of exhaustion that lingers even after a full night's rest. Along with that, you might experience brain fog, forgetting simple things, struggling to focus, or feeling like your mental sharpness has been dialed down. Then, there's the mild pain or pressure in the upper right side of your abdomen, right where your liver is located. It's not usually sharp or severe, but it can feel like a dull ache that hangs around. You may also notice unexplained weight gain, or find it unusually difficult to lose weight, even if you're making an effort. Another unexpected clue is the appearance of dark patches of skin, often on the neck or underarms. This is a sign of insulin resistance, which is closely linked to fatty liver. Lastly, there's a clue that shows up in your lab results, something called elevated liver enzymes, especially ALT and AST. If your doctor points out that these numbers are slightly high during a routine blood test, don't ignore it. It could be an early warning that your liver is under stress. These symptoms might seem minor at first, but together they can point to something more serious developing quietly in the background. How to diagnose fatty liver. Diagnosing fatty liver disease often starts with something routine, like a regular checkup or a standard blood test. In fact, many people learn they have fatty liver by accident when their doctor notices slightly elevated liver enzymes, particularly ALT or alanine aminotransferase, and AST or aspartate aminotransferase. These enzymes aren't specific to fatty liver, but when they're higher than normal, they can indicate liver stress or damage. Another enzyme, GGT or gamma-glutamyl transferase, may also be checked to get a fuller picture of liver function. If those numbers raise any red flags, your doctor may order an ultrasound, which is a non-invasive imaging test that can reveal fat accumulation in the liver. While it's simple and widely used, an ultrasound can only detect fat once it reaches a certain threshold, usually around 20%, so it may miss earlier stages of the disease. To get a more detailed and accurate assessment, especially if your doctor suspects inflammation or fibrosis, they might recommend a fibroscan, also known as transient elastography. This non-invasive test uses ultrasound technology to measure how stiff your liver is, a sign of scarring or fibrosis, and also estimates how much fat is present. It's quick, painless, and provides immediate results, making it a powerful tool for monitoring fatty liver progression or regression over time. In more serious or uncertain cases, a liver biopsy may be necessary. This involves removing a small tissue sample from the liver and examining it under a microscope to confirm inflammation, fat content, or the presence of scarring. While a biopsy gives the most precise diagnosis, it's invasive and typically reserved for cases where there's concern about advanced liver damage. Because fatty liver often has no noticeable symptoms in its early stages, it's frequently diagnosed incidentally during testing for something else entirely. That's why it's so important to take routine blood work seriously and follow up when something seems off. The earlier fatty liver is detected, the easier it is to manage and reverse before it progresses to more serious liver damage. How to reverse fatty liver naturally. Now for the good news. Fatty liver can be reversed, especially in its early stages. The liver has a powerful ability to heal itself when the underlying causes are addressed. With the right lifestyle changes, you can reduce liver fat, lower inflammation, and restore proper liver function without needing medication. Here are the most effective ways to reverse fatty liver naturally. 1. Eliminate added sugar. Cut out sweetened beverages like soda, sweetened iced tea, flavored coffee drinks, energy drinks, and fruit juices, along with desserts, sugary cereals, pastries, and processed snacks. These foods are often loaded with fructose, a type of sugar that's metabolized almost entirely by the liver. When you consume too much, your liver turns it into fat. High fructose corn syrup in particular has been strongly linked to increased fat buildup in liver cells. Reducing or eliminating added sugars gives your liver a break and helps stop further fat accumulation. 2. Eat a whole food anti-inflammatory diet. Focus on eating foods that reduce inflammation and support metabolic health. Fill your meals with colorful vegetables, whole fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains like oats and quinoa, lean protein sources such as poultry, fish, eggs, and tofu, and heart-healthy fats like olive oil and avocados. Avoid ultra-processed foods that contain artificial additives, refined flour, trans fats, and preservatives. 3. Lose weight gradually and consistently. Even a modest weight loss of 5 to 10% of your total body weight can significantly reduce fat in the liver and improve insulin sensitivity. However, it's important not to lose weight too quickly. Rapid weight loss, especially from crash dieting or extreme fasting, can release too many fatty acids into your bloodstream at once, overwhelming the liver and potentially worsening inflammation. Aim for a slow and steady loss of 1 to 2 pounds per week by combining a healthy diet with regular physical activity. 4. Exercise regularly. Physical activity helps your body burn stored fat, including the fat in your liver. Exercise also improves insulin sensitivity and reduces overall inflammation. Both aerobic activities, like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming, and resistance training, like weightlifting or body weight exercises, have been shown to lower liver fat, even in people who don't lose weight. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week, which breaks down to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. The more active you are, the more you support your liver's ability to heal. 5. Get more fiber. Fiber plays a key role in blood sugar regulation, gut health, and liver detox. Soluble fiber in particular slows down digestion and helps stabilize blood glucose and insulin levels, reducing the risk of fat buildup in the liver. It also feeds the beneficial gut bacteria that support your immune system and reduce inflammation. Great sources of soluble fiber include oats, beans, lentils, apples, berries, carrots, chia seeds, and flax seeds. Including a variety of these in your diet helps reduce liver fat and supports overall metabolic balance. 6. Add healthy fats. Not all fats are bad. In fact, some are essential for liver health. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, and anchovies help reduce liver fat, improve lipid profiles, and fight inflammation. You can also get healthy fats from avocados, nuts like almonds and walnuts, seeds like flax and chia, and olive oil. These fats help regulate hormones and improve heart health, which is important since fatty liver often coexists with cardiovascular risks. Avoid trans fats and limit omega-6 heavy oils like corn or soybean oil, which can worsen inflammation. 7. Avoid alcohol. Even if your fatty liver wasn't caused by alcohol, drinking, even in small amounts, can interfere with liver recovery. Alcohol is metabolized directly by the liver and can add extra stress to an organ that's already trying to heal. It also increases oxidative stress and inflammation in liver cells. For people with fatty liver disease, especially in moderate to advanced stages, it's best to avoid alcohol completely until the liver has recovered. If you do choose to reintroduce it later, do so cautiously and under medical supervision. 8. Improve sleep and reduce stress. Poor sleep and chronic stress disrupt your hormone balance, worsen insulin resistance, and increase cortisol levels, factors that all promote fat storage in the liver. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night by sticking to a regular bedtime, limiting screen time before bed, and keeping your sleep environment cool and quiet. To manage stress, find daily activities that help you unwind, such as walking, yoga, meditation, deep breathing, journaling, or simply spending quiet time in nature. Reducing stress supports not just your liver, but your entire metabolic system. When to seek medical help. Lifestyle changes are powerful tools for healing and reversing fatty liver, but they're not a replacement for professional medical care, especially when the condition has progressed or when symptoms are starting to show. It's important to consult a doctor if you've been told your liver enzymes are elevated. This could be an early warning sign that your liver is under stress or beginning to accumulate fat and inflammation. Even if you feel generally okay, changes in your blood work shouldn't be ignored. You should also seek medical evaluation if you're experiencing persistent fatigue, unexplained weight gain, or a dull ache or pressure in the upper right abdomen, as these symptoms may indicate your liver is struggling to function properly. If you already have risk factors like type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, metabolic syndrome, or obesity, regular liver monitoring becomes even more important. These conditions not only increase your chances of developing fatty liver, but can also accelerate its progression. Early diagnosis is key. It allows for timely intervention, often through lifestyle changes and medical guidance that can stop or even reverse the damage. The liver is incredibly resilient, but once significant scarring or cirrhosis sets in, the damage can become permanent. A structured treatment plan developed with your healthcare provider can help you regain control of your liver health before it reaches that point. There you have it. Everything you need to know to understand, prevent, and even reverse fatty liver naturally. Fatty liver may be common, but it's definitely not something you should brush off. It's your body's way of telling you that things are out of balance, that your metabolism is under pressure, your liver is overwhelmed, and your long-term health is at risk. The good news is, fatty liver doesn't have to be permanent. The liver is one of the few organs in your body that can actually regenerate itself, but only if you give it the right support. And that doesn't come from a magic pill or a quick fix detox. It comes from the choices you make every single day. The food you put on your plate, the way you move your body, the sleep you prioritize, the stress you manage. These might sound simple, but together, they form the foundation for true healing. Small changes, done consistently, can completely transform your liver and your life. Now, I have a challenge for you. Start with just one habit this week. Maybe it's cutting back on soda, walking 20 minutes a day, or adding more fiber to your meals. Whatever it is, commit to it. Then build from there. It won't always be easy, but your liver, your energy, and your future self will thank you. If this video helped you understand fatty liver better, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more practical, no BS, and no gimmicks health breakdowns like this. Thanks for watching Clear Cut Health and Wellness 360. Stay well and take care of that liver.